What is going on?
All right, and we're back for not episode number 2. That's going to be coming up in a little bit. This is actually like an emergency pod. Here we go again pod, but something that we just got to put out there because we have some breaking news, unfortunately. And in these days, it's been consistent all off season. Not good news. I remember 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were getting calls about we got a new coach, we got Tyreek Hill, this is going to be the best. But now, Ryan, can you tell our audience what we're dealing with now?
So Chris Greer, who's been in the news lately, has come out and stated that the Miami Dolphins have had discussions with our star cornerback, Jalen Ramsey, and his agent over the past few days, and it has been decided that the team and Jalen Ramsey will explore trade options to another team or to another organization. He came out this morning, spoke to the media, him being Chris Greer, and did state, Chris, which was very interesting, that Jalen Ramsey did not request the trade. After discussions amongst internally and discussions with Jalen Ramsey and his representation, they mutually decided to explore trade options. What is going on, Chris?
Well,
what is going on?
Well, I mean, what is he going to say? Yeah, Jalen decided that we're a sinking ship and he doesn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely he should. So at least, I mean, don't lie. Don't absolutely lie.
Well, they've lied to us this entire time. So if we're speaking honestly here, this is kind of par for the course.
How are we here again, Mark? How are we here again? It's April. It's April 15th. How are we here again?
Did you do your taxes?
Huh? Absolutely. I do them right away because I get money back. Shout out to Turbo. I mean, sorry, I can't divulge sponsors here. But how are we here again, guys? This is unbelievable. And this guy, this general manager, he's like
I have a bigger concern.
Keith Richards. The guy doesn't die.
I honestly have a bigger concern. It seems like these guys are allowing them to do the rebuild again.
Elaborate, please.
Okay, so here we are again. Jalen Ramsey, Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, we brought all the big guys in. We paid Jalen Waddle. We paid Tua. All right, these are the guys that are going to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They told the front office, this is what we need. The ownership, this is what we need. All these guys are going to help us win the Super Bowl.
Who's they? You say they told. Who
Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel had to have told, Garfinkel and Ross, hey, this is the way that we're going to win.
Uh-huh.
And then when we let homegrown talent like Christian Wilkins and Javon Holland and the offensive guard that I can't think about.
Robert
Hunt.
Pro Bowler this past year.
We let them go. We don't pay them because we pay other people. Now we're like, all right, we're going to get rid of Tyreek Hill because we'll get to that in a second. We're going to get rid of Jalen Ramsey. We're going to get rid of Calais Campbell. We're not going to sign these guys because we can't mortgage the future. We haven't signed. I said this on the last pod. We haven't signed anybody. We usually okay, let's mortgage the future a little bit. Let's get some players in. Let's go for it. Right now, they're not really going for it, which is a very big concern because the roster's not built good enough to win, and it's not built good enough for the future either.
And the people that you built around to take you to the Super Bowl,
you're getting rid of
are asking to leave.
Yeah.
Right? Or there's been internal discussions and mutually agreed upon that we're going to explore a trade. I've never heard a general manager say that before. I've also never, watched a Chris Greer conference call, and today I did that, on my lunch break, by the way. So your taxpayer dollars were good. It was fine. But this, I don't understand. It feels like the season is already. Our season is over.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't seem good.
My season is over.
I can say, if we're gonna put an optimistic spin on it, he's owed $21 million left. He's owed 25, but he was already given a $4 million bonus. We're gonna give him away for free. So.
He's over 31. He's on the other side of 30.
He definitely got smoked a couple times last year.
Okay, but he was good last year.
No, he's a good player, and I'd rather have him. So we'll get to Tyreek Hill, and I could probably make an argument to get rid of him over Jalen Ramsey because if you would have kept Kendall Fuller, then I would say, okay.
There's no one else on the other side right now.
But you got nobody.
You got Cam Smith, second round pick. Yeah, bust. By the way, bust.
Chris Greer's son's roommate.
And
in college.
and today he said Chris Greer outed him and said we can't handhold you anymore. You got to step up to the plate. Talking about Cam Smith. Let's see how that goes. You got Cater Kohu, which I love Darth Cater, but is he a premier number 2? No, he's a slot guy. You got Storm Duck. Great name, by the way. Great name. But again, these are not premier guys. And then you got Ethan Bonner. You have no one else on the other side.
I don't really want to hear about Ethan Bonner. All I heard about was Ethan Bonner. The guy didn't even play last year. He had plenty of opportunity to get on the field. He didn't. So obviously the coaches don't agree with the players that think he's good. And I don't know. I mean, he shouldn't be good. It's not like he was a first-round pick or a second-round pick. We should not be relying on all these undrafted free agents and these late-round picks to come and save the day. And you're going to get rid of Jalen? We're not a better team, and we're not a better secondary without him. And, yeah, he's 31. Maybe he can't play corner, but he can play the star. He could be that piece that we haven't seen him at all here in Miami. And the whole thing with him was like, oh, at least he can transition where Xavier Howard couldn't. Xavier Howard was a corner. There's nothing you could do. But Jalen could be that safety that we're going to talk about drafting possible people that could play that role. But what are we doing?
What do you get for him? What can you get for him?
Well, we went from needing a cornerback. We had said in the last episode that you said you thought that they were probably going to draft some sort of DB. And now we're losing the one glue guy, the guy who can defend the run. He could play zone. He can play man. He can do all of these things. And we're gonna just get rid of him for nothing.
We're gonna have zero starting cornerbacks on the roster.
We're gonna get a pick, a mid round pick.
That's the question. What do you get for him?
You're not gonna get much because we traded a third and Hunter Long for him. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Again, what doesn't make any sense is that they paid him more money last year to be on the roster for sure this year, and then we're gonna get rid of him. This is where I don't mean to be critical. And I don't mean to be negative.
Be critical.
But these moves don't make sense. You were free and clear. You're not on the hook for so much money if you don't make the moves with specifically Tyreek Hill and Jalen Ramsey. Why would you do that and to be here a year later? And we're going to let these guys continue to make the decisions. I don't get what's going on over there in Davie. I just don't get it.
They're not in Davie anymore.
Yeah,
they're only Roundup.
They're in Hard Rock.
But this place is This is elementary. This makes no sense.
There's common sense things, and this is not common sense. So now we have bigger needs, which we'll get to, and I don't think now that we can go out of the first round without taking a secondary pick because if they get rid of Jalen Ramsey, they will have 0 starters. So I'm going to say it right now. They'll have a nickel corner. That's what they'll have. I'm going to say it right now. I really hope this trade doesn't go through. So you heard that for sure he's getting traded. From what I've read, it seems like this is a push to try to get him traded before the draft to get some draft capital.
They're already taking calls.
Hopefully they get something by the draft. If not, he'd be on the team. I could be completely wrong. I have no sources. It just kind of seems that that's what they're trying to do. Or wait to see if they draft a first-round corner and then get rid of him, which would not make any sense. I don't know.
We're getting strong-armed by our premier players. And our premier players are the people should be the cornerstone of your franchise. And they all want to jump ship.
Well,
what does that say? What does that say about your organization, the leadership of your organization?
But that's what happens when you build a team the way they did. They didn't build a team that, hey, this is the Dolphin way. This is how you're going to run things. This is what you're going to do. So I'm fine with them resetting, but I'm not okay with them resetting with Chris Greer again. Sorry. Not at all. And Mike McDaniel, you really shit the bed when it comes to building a culture and building a team because you let the kids run amok last year. You said it's a player-led team and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And then you have what we saw. You have people not showing up for meetings. You admitted, not you, Mike McDaniel, admittedly saying himself, there's nothing that I could do because finding them doesn't work. Yeah, there's plenty of things you could do. You can cut players. You can trade players away in the middle of the season when it counts. Discipline them. But now you just lost the entire roster.
Mike McDaniel, you see these wonderful glasses right here? I got these because I want to look like you, brother. I got these clear glasses. What do you think? Do you think they look good or no?
Yeah, you look good.
Right? I wore them on purpose. By the way, I have pure astigmatism. But Mike McDaniel, these are because of you. Now I can't see, brother. Now I can't see. Now I'm a liability on the street because you are just a piece of doo-doo. How did I look?
You can't see anything in these things.
What are you talking about?
You're blind, dude.
Yeah, pure stigmatism.
So we'll get to the other kind of breaking news. Surprise, surprise. Tyreek Hill's in the news again because he got another divorce, having another baby. Allegedly, maybe some fighting going on with his wife, but he's for sure getting a divorce. That's what's come out.
She came out. His mother-in-law. Shout out to all the mother-in-laws out there. How's your mother-in-law? Is she good?
She's just traveling now. She just got to Boston, I think.
That doesn't answer my question. Is she good?
Yeah,
she's
she's good.
She's good. My mother-in-law is all the time. I love you, Grammy. But the mother-in-law called the cops on him because of all the back and forth. But I heard rumors that this guy was trying to do some sort of like Lion King thing, that he took the baby to the, to the, what do you call this? To the balcony. And
Michael Jackson?
What's he trying? Yeah. What's he trying to do here?
Oh, wow.
What I saw, he was just holding it on the balcony.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so you know what? Reports.
it
My
was-
bad, Tyreek. That's me.
There was
not doing my job.
video of it that was circling, and to me, it was just he was holding the baby. Like, I don't know.
So are we
And he
talking
has a
about
balcony.
an overreactive mother-in-law?
Well, they always will
Should
be.
we go that route too, or no? Because
we're
we
not-
we can really talk about that.
Yeah,
I'm just
we're-
kidding, Grammy. I
He
love
was,
you.
not-
he was pacing a little bit. Like it makes sense that they could have been in a fight. Like they were both out there moving around, and he was just holding a baby. You can't do anything else with the baby. Like, you're just holding it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that was foul play or
we don't have to
anything.
get into the nitty gritty of what happened there. I was just trying to say he's in the news again, and at a certain point, he's also 31, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's also on the way out. And again, McDaniel, you have the opportunity to build your team. You did one thing, which was you got Tyreek. You never thought you would. You built their offense around him and some things that Tua could do nicely. But last year, you clearly pulled that back a lot. You have Waddle that can do a lot of the things that Tyreek can. Not everything, but I know you don't like him. But you have that. It's time to move on from Tyreek. I think it's, but you're not going to get anything now. So can we get rid of him?
We're like the property brothers around here. We're just rebuilding everything. Huh? That's what this podcast is going to be.
Bob the Builder.
Talking about rebuilding and resetting. I mean, what a shitty time to sorry, excuse my language, to bring back this podcast, because what is going on here? As a paying fan, Chris, Mark,
I don't pay.
they're not performing. They are not performing,
Well,
and
it's the offseason. We don't know if they performed yet. or
oh
not.
man, but this is the least confident I've ever been in this team. How did we get here so fast?
Well, the offseason's not over.
How
one.
did we get here so fast?
The offseason's not over, number one. Number two, neither one have been traded at this point, so they could be on the team next year. And if that's the case, then McDaniel, go back to season one and just feed Tyreek deep all the time, please.
250 targets.
Yeah, let's try for the 2,000 yards again, and then we'll forget everything else. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
He'll be happy. Everyone will be happy. Tua will be throwing it deep, not behind the line of scrimmage like he was last year, and maybe he'll be okay.
Yeah, you got to keep Tyreek Hill. I mean, I'm sorry. As a fan and as a
I get it.
season ticket holder, I want to see that guy on the field.
Of course.
And what are we going to get for him? A third and a fifth round pick, maybe, if that, maybe a fourth.
Now you're not getting anything.
For his salary cap hit, his dead cap, and same thing with Jalen Ramsey.
He's on the team next year for sure. 100%.
How do you justify your job if you are Chris Greer to Stephen Ross with all the screw ups and the hot pile of garbage that you have, that is our salary cap, that is our talent, that is our locker room presence? Every single thing, I feel like we have a hole for every single thing. And we're just digging up holes. We're creating holes by digging up old ones and filling them in. It just makes no sense that this gentleman still has a job. It makes no sense.
It's looking bleak. This was an emergency pod. Call the ambulance because we're not doing good right now. Send us to the hospital at this point.
I can't wait for Bill's Mafia to find this podcast, and they're just gonna keep it on a loop. So
They're going to pleasure themselves to our whininess.
make sure you guys comment. Let us know how dumb we are.
Yeah, they'll take over Fort Lauderdale like they do again with their stupid banners up there.
They always have flags.
You guys want to become Titans fans? Cam Ward, is going to be number 1 overall pick.
Oh,
Hey.
we could be those guys that say we follow the athlete.
Why? Yeah. What the hell?
Broadway is super cool. We can go for week 1. We can go hang out there, bar hop, walk over the bridge, go to the game. Sounds like a great idea.
I mean, Cam, I love me some Cam Ward. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with another pod with our draft projections and recap and what we think. Chris Greer can take the plethora of 10 picks and give him the keys to the kingdom and make sure that he's gonna drive us to victory. It's not gonna happen, but
No way.
we'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Thanks.
All right. Sayonara, suckers.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let us know if you want to see anything. Thank you, guys.